Boys, look, all right, here's the thing. There's something that we got to discuss, and I don't think people are ready to discuss it, but we're going to go for it anyway. I've been thinking about making a video like this for a little while, and if you enjoy it, then leave me a comment down below and maybe suggest another killer DLC speculation for me to do, and we'll see how it goes. But, of course, that's going to lead right into the topic of this video. We're talking about killer DLC speculation, and we can't really do that without mentioning Five Nights at Freddy's. Alright, so look, just I know this is going to be a super hot take because a lot of people that I see on Reddit do not want any Five Nights at Freddy's stuff in the game, alright? But look, we've got to look at the facts, and apparently FNAF is the #1 requested IP to put into the game based on a poll ran by DVD Leaks. 13,000 people voted in that poll, and Five Nights at Freddy's got 48.7%. Also, an official player satisfaction survey sent out by Behavior asking which IPs they want to see in the game, Five Nights at Freddy's was an option on that menu. And even though the franchise is 8 years old at this point, it's really popular still. To think how big the series has grown, maybe for better, for worse, whatever, you still got to respect that basically one dude made this and it became as big as it is. So anyway, like I mentioned, Five Nights at Freddy's is the #1 IP that's been requested based on community-run polls that have been put out there on Twitter. And I'm going to go over a couple little rumors and maybe hints that may or may not be leading up to this, alright? So, if Five Nights at Freddy's is the #1 requested IP to put in the game, what a better time to do that than the anniversary of the game, right? It's like a big event, it's a big deal, we get a big character. Now here's the other thing. Way back before Deathslinger came out and before Pinhead came out, importantly as well, when they showed the teaser trailer for Slinger, right, because he's got his gun with the spear and the chain on it, the teaser was just a chain on the ground and then it gets pulled tight, and that was it. That was the teaser. So people, when they saw that, even though that was for Deathslinger, people thought that we were getting Pinhead in the game because he wasn't in the game yet, because of his chains, you know? So what people are saying is, because we saw the Slinger trailer and thought it was Pinhead, and then we got Pinhead, so when people saw the actual Pinhead teaser trailer, again, it's just a teaser, it's not the full trailer, so people didn't know who it was. It was just a TV with static, and it said 1987 up in the corner like it was playing a VHS tape, and people are interpreting that as the bite of 87, which is something that happened in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. Even though this could be easily debunked because 1987 is the year that Hellraiser came out, regardless, people are still hopeful. So what I've done is I've theory-crafted some abilities and perks and whatnot for maybe what I would like to see if Springtrap was in the game. So keep in mind, I'm not a game designer, so I have no idea how this would affect balance, and I don't know, I've kind of sat on these for a little while, and I think I'm finally happy with this. So, first of all, let's talk the basics. So Springtrap is a man named William Afton who was a serial killer, specifically of children, and he died when he tried to hide inside of a animatronic suit because he was being chased by the spirits of the kids that he killed, and then the mechanical suit crushed him, and it like kind of killed him but also kind of didn't, because he's like this like evil revenant guy that never dies. In the deep lore, he was messing around with the science of how souls are like linked to life energy, and this material that he got from souls called Remnant, because he wanted to become immortal. So how's he gonna look in the game? Well, I think that his default skin should be what he looked like when he first originally appeared as a character in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This is my favorite iteration of him anyway, because it really sells the fact that he's just a corpse inside a animatronic suit. And there's even some hidden jump scare screens where you can see his skull and bones and stuff underneath the mask and the rest of the suit. So for some skins, he's had a lot of iterations throughout the series, all right? And this is probably not going to make any sense unless you know what I'm talking about already. But for skins, we would have Springtrap, which is from Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, which was a game that basically was designed lore-wise to be a pizzeria simulator to lure all the animatronics to one place, to burn them all and finally, you know, put an end to the story. So this one is going to be a bit more damaged and kind of gross, more of his fleshy bits exposed. The next skin that we would have is Burn Trap, which is from the newest game, which is Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So from my understanding, Security Breach was built on top of the Pizzeria Simulator location, and when they burned all the animatronics, guess what? He survived. He always comes back, and he's got a couple of different upgrades from some of the parts from the animatronics from Security Breach. And then finally, the last skin would have to be Glitch Trap, which was from the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game, which kind of showed how it started, you know what I mean? With him being in the rabbit suit and luring kids in the back to kill them. So this one is just a suit, but it's quite different than the animatronic suit, and it's not damaged or destroyed or anything. This one is supposed to be like how it all started. So for his animations, of course, you would have to walk with his signature limp, and because of the way that the killer POV works, you would have his right hand outstretched, and every now and then it would twitch because, you know, the suit's locking up on him again. His M1 attack, the only other Springtrap theory that I've watched on YouTube is from Rareth Links, the guy who does the DVD fan-made concept spotlight videos. And in that one, he has Springtrap wielding an axe, all right? And I thought that was kind of weird because I don't really think that there's any specific thing in Five Nights at Freddy's that shows him specifically wielding an axe. So his M1 in my version would just be both his hands, and he just swipes out in front of him. And while we're on the subject of that Rareth Links video, he also had a concept for Michael Afton in there, and Michael is his son and one of the main characters that you play as in the game, who's trying to work against his father, William, aka Springtrap. In my version, there is no Michael Afton survivor that gets introduced because we've literally never actually seen what Michael looks like. So I think it would be kind of weird for Dead by Daylight to be the first actual version of Michael Afton that we have. So no survivor in the big anniversary patch. It's just going to be Springtrap. All right, let's talk power. All right, I decided to call his power Surprise with a little exclamation point. Because I was thinking about how he basically lurks in the back rooms and knows all the in and outs and the secret passages and everything. So what I've come up with is that these doors are going to spawn on structures and even on the wall of the perimeter of the map. They're going to be random, but there's going to be a slight bias towards them being near generators sometimes, like inside structures that have generators next to them or inside them. So Springtrap is going to be able to get inside these doors basically the same way that a survivor would enter a locker. So from inside the locker, he's got two options. He can either come out and grab a survivor that's passing by, so it's like a reverse locker grab, or he can choose to select one of the other doors to traverse to. It works very similar to Demogorgon's portals, but this is important because it would give access to a playstyle like that for the people that missed out on being able to buy Demogorgon when he was in the store. So when he does this, his terror radius remains at the previous door that he was at for a short time, because obviously nobody saw him come out. So once he's traversed to a different door, it changes from the grab into a jump out lunge attack that will also play his jump scare sound from the Five Nights at Freddy's games, and any survivor that has vision of him jumping out of the door is going to scream and reveal their position. And because this attack is going to have a decent range when he jumps out of the door, the suit is going to lock up after the jump, kind of like the same fatigue that Nurse gets after her blinks. So the idea with this power is to play really sneaky and try to catch survivors off guard. So let's talk perks. Like I said, I'm not a game designer, so I don't know if these are going to be OP or Zuggy, but here's what I came up with. So first we have Wicked Game. We're going to start with 3 tokens, and whenever a generator hits 90% completion, you lose a token and the generator is going to be blocked by the entity for a period of time. After the generator becomes unblocked, then the survivors who touch the generator are going to become exposed for a short period of time, and also working on that generator is going to face the survivor with difficult skill checks as well. The next perk that I came up with is Hex Easy Prey. This is going to make it so that the survivor who has the least amount of generator repair progress will be your obsession, and every 60 seconds their aura is going to be very briefly revealed to you. Also, failed skill checks are going to leave survivors hindered and oblivious for a short period of time. Works really well with Wicked Game and your power. So I don't know if the numbers on the Obsession Aura Reveal would need some tweaking, whether it be duration of the Aura Reveal or frequency. Maybe it could be a little bit stronger, but also it's a hex perk, so the totem can get destroyed. Like I said, I'm not a game designer, so don't ask me about balance. So my final perk, I wasn't 100% set on a name at first. It was going to be I Always Come Back, but I wanted to keep it like applicable to other killers, you know, with the teachables and shit. So I called it Hunting Grounds, which I'm not really that happy with because it's kind of too similar to Haunted Ground from Spirit. I don't know. I Always Come Back really definitely fits Springtrap, but it doesn't really roll off the tongue that well in my opinion. Anyway, when a survivor gets unhooked, that hook is going to become a Scourge hook, and it's going to remain so for the rest of the trial. There's going to be a medium-sized area around the hook in which you'll receive a haste effect. So that's everything. Move speed, pallet kick, gen kick, survivor pickup, everything. So the size of this area is roughly going to be about in between hooks. So in theory, you could chain them together. So I don't know how strong the haste effect should really be, considering that if you hook everybody twice, then you'd have 8 hooks. And that sounds like it would cover a decent portion of the map, but you still got to get there. You got to get to that point. You know what happens if you get looped around the whole map for the entire game and you only get like 2 hooks? Then you're not really getting value from this, so maybe the haste effect would have to be a little bit tweaked. All right, last but not least, let's talk about the Mori. So Springtrap is going to pick up the survivor, and then from behind him, he's going to have one of the 4 main animatronics. So Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, or Foxy. And he's going to stuff the survivor inside the animatronic, and then it's going to rattle and shake, and then it's going to crush them, and you're going to see the blood leaking out just exactly the same way that William Afton himself died in the Springlock suit. This one is going to have a special animation if it's used on the final survivor in the trial. Instead of doing the Mori animation and then pulling back into the killer POV and then fade to black and then go to the scoreboard. So if it's used on the last survivor in the trial, the animation is going to get extended as to where the survivor is going to be inside the suit, and then they can see through the eye holes in the headpiece, right? And William Afton is going to be there dancing around with the music box music playing, which is basically a shot-for-shot scene from the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game. And then just from there, however long it takes for the match to actually finish, then we just fade to black and go to the scoreboard. So yeah, that's my ideas for what they could do putting Springtrap in Dead by Daylight. I almost said putting Springtrap in Five Nights at Freddy's. If you got any different ideas, you can leave them down in the comments below. Or if you'd like to see me do any other killer speculation videos, leave your suggestions also down in the comments below. I thank you all for watching. Hopefully we can get back to getting some good matches, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and peace.